Hello, my wonderful friends. Megas here on a beautiful day. You'll probably notice we're back in the library. Crazy thing happened. Today, I was at the grocery store and I bought tea. I've been walking past that aisle for months now. Summertime, I don't spend as much time up here in the library drinking hot tea, but the weather's starting to cool. I live up here in the mountains and it's getting cooler. You can see the colors starting to change. And I just got that excitement of reading in the fall time. And so I got a couple ideas and I'll run it by you. What do you guys think about maybe starting book club again? I got an idea for a book that might be fun. My current read is E.M. Forster, A Room with a View. And I'm torn how I feel about this. I'm just not even halfway through yet. I like that it's set in the beginning in Florence, Italy, and he paints a beautiful picture. I love that I've been taking this book and I jump in my side by side and I head up into the mountains. Many of you know I have a chair up there and I just sit and look at the world go by and just the birds are singing and the sun is shining. And so reading to me, it's not just the stories that are told and the characters, even though that's great, but it's also about the whole experience. My hot tea, the library, sitting on a mountain, sitting seaside, the going to bookstores. You guys know it's one of my favorite. I almost love that more than sitting down and reading. I love like hunting books. And it's just, I love everything about books. I love the physical feel of books. I love words. I love the way they make me feel. Matter of fact, we're going to talk about a little Oscar Wilde here in a minute. But first, here's what I'm thinking. I still haven't read Legends and Lattes. I've been holding off because everyone said this is a good, cozy fall time book. It's coffee, and I was thinking, okay, so I've been holding off reading other books. Would you guys be interested in doing book club with Legends and Lattes? Let me know if you are. I'd like to get quite a few if we're going to actually do it. So if you are interested, go to the comments and let me know. And then as I was up here drinking my tea and I started thinking about Picture of Dorian Gray. This book, it's literally falling apart like all my favorite books. The covers, you can see it's just worn through and the pages are all tabbed up and bent over, and it shows the love that I have for it. And I'll tell you why, because it's comforting. It's a warm blanket. It's a cup of hot cocoa. The words just soothe my soul. And I needed that today. And as I was sitting here and the dog's in my lap and my warm beverage and reading these words, I go, I want to share this with my wonderful friends, because to me, it's absolutely, absolutely healing. So I'll just read a little bit. The studio was filled with a rich odor of roses, and when the light summer wind stirred amidst the trees of the garden, there came through the open door the heavy scent of the lilac, or the more delicate perfume of the pink flowering thorn. From the corner of the divan of Persian saddlebags on which he was lying, smoking as was his custom innumerable cigarettes, Lord Henry Wotton could just catch the gleam of the honey-sweet and honey-colored blossoms of laburnum, whose tremulous branches seemed hardly able to bear the burden of a beauty so flame-like as theirs. And now and then the fantastic shadows of birds in flight flitted across the long tussore silk curtains that were stretched in front of the huge window, producing a kind of momentary Japanese effect, and making him think of those pallid, jade-faced painters of Tokyo, who, through the medium of an art that is necessarily immobile, seek to convey the sense of swiftness and motion. The sullen murmur of the bees shouldering their way through the long, unmown grass, or circling with monotonous insistence round the dusty gilt horns of the straggling woodbine, seemed to make the stillness more oppressive. The dim roar of London was like the burdened note of a distant organ. And in the center of the room, clamped to an upright easel, stood the full-length portrait of a young man of extraordinary personal beauty. And in front of it, some little distance away, was sitting the artist himself, Basil Hallward. Oh, every time I read that, it's just, I can see the studio. I can picture the light coming in and the smell of the flowers in the garden. And I don't have words how that makes me feel. Youth smiles without any reason. It's one of its chiefest charms. He turned around and, leaning upon his elbow, began to sip his hot chocolate. The mellow November sun came streaming into the room, and the sky was bright, and there was a genial warmth in the air. It was almost like a morning in May. How exquisite they were. As one read them, one seemed to be floating down the green waterways of the pink and pearl city, seated in a black gondola with silver prow and trailing curtains. The mere lines looked to him like those straight lines of turquoise blue that follow one as one pushes out to the Lido. The sudden flashes of color reminded him of the gleam of the opal and iris-throated birds that flutter around the tall, honeycombed campanile, or stalk with such stately grace through the dim, dust-stained arcades. Leaning back with half-closed eyes, he kept saying over and over to himself, "So beautiful the domes that on the water dwell, pursue the melody in clear, drawn cadence, and swell like breast of love that sigh. My chains around a pillar cast I land before a fair and rosy pale facade at last upon a marble stair." So beautiful. I love words. I love books. And I love you guys. So let me know if you guys are interested, maybe doing book club again. You guys know this already. I love you.